welcome to the Friends. Mike loves it. To the Friends of Zeus podcast. We are now, believe it or not, on episode 84. Tonight, well, I'm sorry, I always do this. Let's take care of the business. You can find us on all platforms. You name it, we're there. We're just a little behind. That's my fault. Well, so for tonight, oh, by the way, we have a new official member of the Friends of Zeus podcast. No longer so much a guest. She'll be here as much as she can. She's going to be reliable.
Round of applause, Mike. That's cute.
But very pleased, so happy that you're joining us on a regular basis because we have a lot of fun with you. This is Desiree. Desiree, can you raise your hand so everybody sees?
Yeah, so we know who it is. Okay, cool.
The one I identify as a woman.
She, her.
The only one here that does. So.
That we know.
My pronouns.
As far
her
as
now.
As far as we know. Yeah.
For now.
I guess it could always change.
Yeah. So tonight our episode is going to be about something that's been showing up in the news a little bit lately.
What?
Libs of TikTok. Tom thought this would be a good one to talk about. I think it's a hilarious one to talk about. I checked out the lady. Tom, you probably have her name right there. I think it's Claire or Shara.
Shayna.
Chaya. Raycheck. I went ahead and checked her out on Instagram. She's interesting. She's sort of funny, a little too snarky for my taste. It's kind of the one thing on the right that I get a little upset with is the snark. But that's the end thing right now. It'll change around.
All the kids are doing it.
Yeah,
all the kids are doing it. But she's pretty funny. I mean, I get what she's saying. She's kind of like, to me, Tom, do you know that girl's name? She does the comment section thing on Daily Wire. Pretty.
Oh, yeah, you brought her up before, but
I forget her name.
Yeah, she's not, I don't know. She's off my radar.
Yeah,
I don't watch her show. I just saw that one that had the videos.
Yeah, she kind of gets on my nerves. Her snark is full bore. She's like 0 to 60. Just, I don't think she's gonna win anybody over. But anyway, so this girl's not quite as bad as that.
Sarcasm is not charming.
No, it's not. It's not.
That's exactly right.
Facts and humor is fine, but
endless cynical sarcasm. Yeah,
diminishing statements is just, it doesn't, for me. I think we do a good job of not diminishing others, if we disagree with them. And I think it's a better way to do things. You know, the old adage, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. For me,
the more you know.
Right. The more you know.
Yeah, Mike.
That's my policy, man.
Mike was doling out honey on last week's episode.
Oh my
God! The honey.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it quiet tonight.
Reminded me of that Family Guy where they go through all these different, the more you know, and then Peter just pops over the middle and goes, "Fuck Canada." Just knocks out a whole country. So anyway, we're gonna be talking about that. This is Tom's baby, so why don't you fill us in a little?
All right, guys. Yeah, I figured we'd start with just a quick intro of who they are. Well, it's basically just the one person, I think. I don't think it's a team or anything, but it's just Chaya Raycheck. So she started Libs of TikTok in April of 2021, last year, after we started this show. And she's got 1.3 million followers already. So what's up with us?
Yeah.
Because it's Ticker Talker. That's how it works.
Yeah, we got to get a TikTok video out there.
We got to do all that stuff that the kids are doing.
Yeah. We got to get our kids to do it for us.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Good, Tom.
So I figured, the question when I first talked to Zeus about it, Zeus was like, well, what do they do? Do they do like parodies or what? So I figured, okay, there's probably a lot of people that don't. I mean, in my world, in my corner of the world, I know Libs of TikTok. I've seen a lot of their stuff, but I guess there's a lot of people out there who don't know what they are or who they are. So we'll
What,
start
TikTok or Libs of TikTok?
Libs of TikTok.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I think everyone has TikTok.
I probably see something from them like twice a week, maybe. I don't. It just pops up in my travels.
okay, I'm gonna share.
You gotta allow him to share, Mike.
You got it, man.
All right, can you see this?
There
Oh,
we go.
wow.
So this is Twitter. I know, Mike, you probably haven't seen this since 3 years,
It's been a while.
since January 5th was the
Yeah.
last
Wait,
time you were
Yeah.
Wait, I have to confess, I don't and have never had Twitter. I don't have it. I don't
Same.
want it.
I just like you more and more, Jack.
There you go.
and I don't
Words
recommend
involving
it for
Twitter.
anybody. I don't have,
I like you
I don't-
exactly the same, Jack.
I don't
Thanks,
use Twitter, but it's just, I have like an old account.
Yeah, it's okay, Tom.
I've got a
Sometimes
Twitter
when no-
account, but
when
not
no
a
one's
Twitter
looking.
account.
I
Tom
just
ducks
have it so I
behind the
can get to
dumpster.
whatever sends me there.
So I guess we'll plug her a little bit since we're stealing her material, but that's kind of her thing. Basically, what she does is she kind of takes, and I'll show you a couple of examples in a second. She takes videos posted to TikTok by liberals that are really cringy, and she reposts them, usually unedited with no nothing, at all, and just repost them. But liberals don't like that because it's embarrassing.
It's a
So she's
gimmick
got
account,
1.3
really.
million followers here. Let's see if I can. Oh, I gotta do it on my phone. Yeah, she's got a way. I won't go through all this stuff, but you can reach out to her for support. So let me see if I can play. Oh, I don't know if I did it for video. I might have to redo this, but I'm
Oh,
gonna
that was moving.
share one. If I can find. Oh, I passed it. There's a cringy one here.
So I can't believe it just started just over a year ago.
Here we go. Look at this one.
5 things you can do as a teacher to create safer spaces in your classroom. Or your house, really, if you want to. Number 1, post a safe space sign, like this one. You can Google it. And then start unpacking what it means in your classroom to create safer spaces. How do you handle pronouns? Someone being misgendered. How do you teach your other kids to be an ally? Dead naming. It's gonna happen. What are you gonna do? Number 2, start an LGBTQ organization in your school to support your staff and students, like this one. This is glsen.org. They will give the entire curriculum to you. It's very handy. Number 3. That was 4. Number 3. Learn every day how to be a better ally. How to be anti-racist. Stand up against homophobia and transphobia. Ever hear your students say, "That's so gay"? You gotta shut that shit down. Don't know why pronouns are so important? Don't understand why students would get upset when they've been misgendered or dead named. You gotta unpack that. Here's number 4. Integrate Q, T, BIPOC, and LGBTQ topics, writers, authors into your curriculum. Curriculum. Why? Because don't forget, Pride started out as, and continues to be, an act of resistance. Started by our Black trans women. You have to acknowledge all the parts of a student's identity, because their experiences will be different when they hold multiple intersections of identity, like being Black and queer.
Is it okay? So can I just ask a question? So this is not a parody. This is for real.
Yeah, it's a real school teacher.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a real it's a real person. It's just a gimmick account. So she's just reposting the cringy videos because
Right.
it's to
Exactly.
like laugh at them.
It's basically like holding up a mirror
Yeah.
to these people.
I'm
She's just
intrigued.
showing you what they posted.
Because this person looks really intelligent, like they've got a lot to say.
Oh, a minute.
This is a
42
teacher.
seconds worth.
This is a school teacher.
I can go to Libs of TikTok. on
Yeah. Play the
TikTok.
audio.
I
can
can't.
hear
I
it.
don't know if I can find that one video.
Okay.
Stop using Shopify, and I'll explain to you why. For those of you who don't know what Shopify is, it's an online merchant platform where people can sell goods on their website.
That's not the
Shopify has
same
recently
video.
come under fire for platforming the anti-LGBTQ account Libs of TikTok. LOTT has been all over the news recently for harassment campaigns against.
Okay, that's a stupid one. I just want to see that.
Okay, Desiree, I got an update on that one though. The Shopify thing. So
Yeah.
they were protesting it to try and get her kicked off of Shopify,
Right.
but Shopify came back and said, you know what, we're open to everybody. So they left her on there.
Good for Shopify.
Yeah, good for
Shopify.
Shopify.
Yeah, man.
I can try to play you a TikTok off of here.
All right, guys. So I have been put in the position to dead name and misgender students for the last few months or whatever since I started working at my current school corporation. And today was the day that I resigned. I was called in and they said they had a meeting with the superintendent or assistant superintendent and the school lawyer, and that while they are here, while students are with us, we are acting in loco parento, which apparently means that we are acting in place of the parents. And so therefore we have to abide by parent wishes when it comes to preferred name and pronouns, which just like isn't true. So because of this, I have resigned. I am queer, I am lesbian, I am non-binary. I use she, they pronouns, and I will not be put in a position to feel like I'm going against my own community, and I will not feed into misgendering or dead naming. It's not something that I...
Okay.
Bye, Felicia.
But you get the
I would have
idea.
already
It was-
swiped up on that video.
You can see how upset she was that she had to go by the wishes of the parents. She was very upset about that.
Okay, so is there a new definition for lesbian? Because don't you have to be binary to be?
No,
That's what I thought.
it's whatever you want. That's the
No.
problem. It's
Yeah.
I thought
whatever you want.
non-binary and she, her pronouns didn't go together.
You could be a cat. It doesn't matter. And there's people on here that
Oh, I
are
wanna be a cat.
cats, and here's another one.
Today,
my
well,
That's when I
completely
was playing
fine,
that guy.
and that was really heartwarming that the kids just got it. But my favorite reaction, and it sums me up so well, I feel like, is I was in a new classroom and I took off my mask to blow my nose, and I just hear a kid loudly whisper, "Oh, she's a boy." And I was like, "Yeah, you got it, kid. You totally got it." The owner of the school I work at hates the way I look, and I love how petty it's gonna make me. I got this job without an in-person interview, so they took no time to screen how I look or ask any questions about piercings or tattoos.
They got
I'll
a point
stop
there.
Yeah,
Can't
what-
get mad if they didn't have an in-person interview.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what school hired that guy sight unseen?
It's not a very
Mm.
good school.
The kind that hired during COVID.
Schools
I
are desperate
loved
for
her
teachers.
in the
though.
carnival that I went to.
Oh, that's send your emails to Zeus
Zeus at
for that.
Friends of
comment.
Zeus podcast.
What
.com.
would a 1920s bearded lady identify as today? What the fuck?
Elementary school teacher. We're just trying to show you a couple examples of what Libs of TikTok does. They just basically repost liberal videos that were posted originally on TikTok. That's all they do. But they've garnered a lot of followers because people are, shocked by what they see. But then
And because TikTok has a really good algorithm. Anyway.
yeah, this year they started getting into hot water, though. They started getting into trouble. Obviously, like Desiree was playing the Shopify thing. So liberals are trying to do whatever they can to squash this Twitter account, to put it down so that they won't be embarrassed by themselves, basically. So they're attacking Libs of TikTok from right and left.
Well,
They're
wait a
posting
second.
the videos
Can
on
I-
TikTok.
Well,
all she's doing
well,
is reposting, not
well,
editing,
well,
just
well,
reposting.
Wait, what you left out here though, Tom, and it's very interesting, is that we all know this lady now only because the liberals went after her. It was only up until this summer that was an anonymous account. It was completely anonymous. Nobody knew who was behind it. And I remember even Tucker Carlson, when she started to get the site started to get attacked, had her on anonymously, like it was just her voice, and they didn't reveal her identity. And what happened was a very liberal reporter whose name escaped,
Taylor Lorenz.
That's her.
Yes, yes.
So what she did was she did some investigative work, and she found out who this woman was, and she doxed her. She basically exposed it, and they even went as far as finding out where the woman lives. Like that reporter tried to visit her at her home and was ringing the doorbell.
Right.
And
At her parents' home.
She filmed her through like the people that she was
It's
there.
fucking getting so out of control.
But
And-
doesn't the Washington
Well, oh my
Post
God.
do that for all websites? Don't they dox everyone from every website, Jack?
What
Or
is-
is it
what is it,
selective?
dox?
TikTok. It's TikTok. It's
Well,
not a
I know
website. It means that
I
they
know they
expose
went
our
after
documents.
her. I know
Yeah,
they
no,
went
I'm
after
saying
her.
I'm being sarcastic.
I know
Yeah,
you don't.
it-
Hey, I love sarcasm. You said you don't like sarcasm.
I don't. Yeah, no. Well, I do, but yeah, it's a
To a
long story. That's
degree.
another episode.
When it's
Small doses.
hateful and diminishing, I don't get into it when it's that. Like, you know, a little humor here and there, but when you're just pummeling somebody and they're not there to defend themselves, it's just
Here,
low
Wait,
That's
brow.
what I
are
don't
you
get.
are you talking about what she does on her site? Because she just republishes things that people put up.
No,
themselves.
no, she had some more like her own. She has her own Instagram, and she has some
Yes.
videos with her.
Now
And
she does.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it was made as an
Zeus.
anonymous account.
Zeus, it was an anonymous account. She only started to involve herself more,
No, these are recent. These are recent.
right? Because they
But I'm
outed
saying
her
when it
this summer.
started. So she started, that was the name of the TikTok account. And
Yeah.
all she was doing was like reposting. So it's like retweeting.
Oh
You
no,
just
no, I'm
literally
talking about
retweet.
her personal Instagram, not
Right, but your personal, it's like a personal and a business. You can have two different
yeah,
like
yeah.
views on stuff. You know, you're gonna be one way on
Right,
one,
I'm-
one way on the
I'm
other.
just saying what I saw on her personal one. She gets a little snarky. It's not a big deal. I like her. She's
Right,
Well-
she's
well,
a troll. That's not
yeah.
argued. I'm just
That's-
saying like that. She had a TikTok account, which all she did was repost videos, not edited, no additional commentary, no fucking laughy face emoji in the corner. Just reposted the same videos that were posted by those other users.
Right.
I got here.
I don't understand why she was like gone after. I mean,
Well-
yes, at the end of the day, I think it was,
Because she was
it's kind of
successful.
rude.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Mike just nailed it. She was successful, and also her audience were reacting to this stuff. When you show like 1 million conservative parents, these school teachers that are out of their fucking minds with what they're doing to kindergarten through third grade students, people noticed. And that's why she's got over 1 million viewers. It's
Right,
not.
but what were they
it's-
commenting on her or the video of the person?
Well, no,
doing things?
that's no. I agree with you. All she was doing was putting a spotlight on these people.
And so let's discuss the videos we saw. One in particular of them I found really bothersome and is kind of to the point for me is the one where they were like, oh, I didn't have to do an in-person video, and this is really I'm really going to be able to get, I forget what term they use, catty or something, but it was all
Catty.
about I'm going to be able to rustle feathers with this. So for me, I mean, putting on my psych hat for a second, not the nursing degree, just the psych degree, Jack.
I got it.
That to me says borderline all day long. That's like, I want to have people spinning plates. I want them juggling. I want to watch the world burn. And it doesn't really, I'm not really concerned with how I appear. It's that it bothers others.
I guess-
That's what I
You've
got.
never been a petty
Right.
Betty before, Zeus?
Huh?
Well, also she's doing a show now. Now that she's been outed and she has an audience, now she's putting herself out there a little more. Obviously, her motivation for doing this in the first place was to expose some of these lunatics to a wider audience.
And yeah, they
and so for her to do that, she must have a political, she called the thing Libs of TikTok. Like clearly she's coming from a conservative viewpoint.
oh yeah,
You
she's
know,
totally she's
yeah.
poking the bear, definitely.
Well,
But I find it interesting.
But
Why are they?
she's poking the bear with their own knife.
With their own material.
I know. I love it that she's just holding it up, and suddenly these are people that they are supporting. And
Like you're
but when it's
attacking
held
yourself.
up, when the mirror is held up to them, they're like, well, this isn't who we want representing. We want RuPaul in here, which RuPaul's cool. RuPaul's I've seen RuPaul enough. Doesn't bother me one bit. I have no problem.
It's got nothing to do with it.
Right. It's the antagonistic. I want, again, it's so borderline, it's ridiculous. I want people to pay attention to me. It's all about abandonment. Mommy wasn't there, daddy wasn't there, pay attention to me. And
it's a pay attention to
know.
me when they posted the video, but when it was reposted, it's, oh, wait a second, don't look at me.
Right, exactly. It falls in the lines of the whole, I want to be I don't want you to separate me. I want to be included, but don't include me in your group.
It's all
counterintuitive. It's ridiculous.
It's all context too, because Libs of TikTok has become successful, the medium is the context. So, you know, even though she doesn't post commentary or anything like that or emojis, the fact that she posts things now, that is the commentary. That if it makes her site, the implied thing is, look at this is ridiculous.
And did she even narrate or anything? Did she even editorialize? She just
to be fair, she does post commentary here and there.
Yeah, she does.
In between the videos, she'll post commentary. And it's funny. I mean, sometimes she'll put something like, can you believe this? And then she'll put the video. She'll put like a little comment or something. So it's not 100% just posting only the videos.
Not anymore.
Funny. One time all she put was like a little emoji. I think Desiree brought up emojis. She put a little vomit emoji, and they said that was inspiring hate or harassment because she put that was her commentary on the video. But I mean, that's the complaint is they keep saying it's inspiring hate and inspiring harassment and violence.
So don't do stuff that people can harass you about. I mean,
well, I think the larger point, I mean, from what I know about the site, the thing that really rings true in my experience is that most people who self-identify as progressive and like the Democrat Party, they don't come out and say, this is what I support. I think that women should be able to have an abortion all the way up to the moment of birth, right? They don't say, you know, I think it would be better if the super people in DC were in charge of everything, so that's why we want to consolidate the government. Or they never are out front with what they actually want. You always have to like read the tea leaves or figure it out. So I think why this rings true for a lot of people that follow just media in general is it is literally showing a mirror, and they can't support it. And so to me, I'm like, okay, look, if someone posted a video of us from this show, I would not have a problem with that. Like, and that website, that TikTok, but I'm saying that TikTok would never even be successful because whatever. I'd be like, yeah, that's what I said. But the fact that they can't be like that, to me, that's the fulcrum that this thing pivots on. I just find fascinating, just from a sociological standpoint.
It's not her.
It's not her
inspiring the hate. It's what they're saying in their own videos. That's
and
inspiring.
she probably has some pretty rabid followers too. I mean, and she is a troll, but whatever. That's not a bad word. Whatever.
And let's be careful here, because what they call hate and harassment, it's more like people writing letters or people showing up at the Board of Education and getting called a domestic terrorist.
What were you saying, Jack?
No. I mean, Tom kind of made the point. Like they'll label you creating hate and inspiring violence, but I'm still not seeing it.
Right.
We're the roving hordes of conservatives
The
that are
only-
burning shit down.
The only
Yeah.
thing that really happened was one time she listed like all of the drag shows that were going on. That's all she did, just a list of all the
Right.
dates and locations of the drag shows that
All of which had individually published themselves.
right in this
That's
cause.
That's how she got the information. She just-
Exactly.
And that included children, not just like drag shows in adult places.
Right.
Because no one cares about that.
But she was
that's why
accused
she
of
exposed it.
promoting violence just by posting that list because
That's ridiculous.
people
man.
would show up to protest.
I call that promoting a show.
And
Mhm.
in fact, I hear that they're cool shows to go to, that they're hilarious. It's like vaudevillian and like
Well, not when you have a 9-year-old in there. I don't think so.
well, no, not I'm not talking
Yeah,
about
that's
I'm talking
the
about a
denomination.
regular
That's what
drag
he's
show.
talking about, though.
Yeah, she
That's what
doesn't-
was happening.
That
She's
is-
not going after drag queens. She's going after teachers. She's plowing the fields where this ideology is meeting minor children. That's her wheelhouse. That's all the videos are
There's a
about
lot
that.
of teachers, drag shows with minors.
I say her snark aside in her personal one. I like what she's doing, holding up a mirror. Well, now,
They used to
I'd
call
like
it
to say-
journalism.
yeah, holding it up on both sides would be nice, but this is those videos that Tom showed are bothersome to me.
That's just the tip of
don't
the
think-
iceberg.
Yeah, that's
Believe me,
that's
there's a whole-
nothing.
No, but
That's nothing.
I think that your ideology should be left at the door when you walk into the school as a teacher.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, but this
if
is
you're
this is
truly
the-
non-binary, then you should go in there
Yeah, non anything.
It's-
non anything.
It's
I
not
remember
even
when they said religion couldn't be in schools.
right.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
I'm
not-
fine with that too.
Leave it at the door.
Wait,
Leave it at
Mike's
the door.
trying to make. Mike's
No,
trying to
I'm just
say
saying.
something.
I'm just saying it's not ideology. I mean, this is not about ideology. This is about. Look, you have got adult people, adult teachers. Now, granted, the ones that I've seen, most of them they look like they're in their 20s. I mean, they still seem like kids to me, but whatever. They're teachers,
are.
elementary school teachers.
It was, yeah.
And the issue is they are seeking some sort of personal affirmation from grade school kids. And that is not only you hear people talk about power dynamics. I mean, that is an abuse of power dynamics, and it is inappropriate, and it has no place in the schools. And like we've joked about this on previous episodes, but like I have no idea who my second grade teacher was fucking. Do you guys? I mean, did it ever even occur? I mean, who?
Yes, we know.
I'm just saying.
Says this, it
I
makes me
actually knew my
laugh.
second grade teacher was gay,
But yeah, and I knew some of my teachers,
but
but
it actually
wasn't,
was an assumption.
it was an assumption. But what I'm saying is, it has no place because you're supposed to be learning about reading, writing, arithmetic, English, science. So if they're talking about this, what's getting squeezed out?
Right.
And why are kids learning about this? I mean, look,
That's my big issue. These are
that's
little
my
kids.
only issue. If this is in college, whatever, you're paying to go to college, whatever. If it's in high school, maybe, I don't know. I took some pretty funky classes in high school. I could make an
Well,
argument where it may be appropriate,
There are
but not
certain
in grade
form
school.
there-
Not K through 8. I
No.
definitely know that's
even,
not appropriate.
Not even 9 through or whatever, K through 8, not even like middle school. I think
No, K through 8. Like this should not. This
definitely
is
not there.
inappropriate, dude. Why are these adults seeking affirmation from children?
Yeah,
And that's
who else
exactly
seeks
what it is.
affirmation
It's
from
not
children?
just affirmation, it's affirmation about their sexual identity.
Yes.
And there's no reason why third
What?
down, or
You need
even
to know
maybe
what
I
your
would even
sexual
say
identity
like
is.
eighth down.
Yeah.
Like, why do they need to know that? Why do they?
How is this helping the children exactly?
Well, no, that's what they think though. They think
It's
that
their
the
own
kids-
personal
that the kid-
validation.
No. It's bigger than that. The kids need to be made aware that not everybody's like them and not everybody's like mommy and daddy. And it's okay for you if you think you're a girl. It's okay to tell me, Johnny. Yeah,
I won't tell your parents.
Yeah, no. Let's plant that seed into a little kid's confused head.
Right.
That's my problem with it.
That's the danger. I think
Yeah.
you're perpetuating it just by
It's indoctrination.
It's indoctrination, 100%.
It
Look.
is about validation. Oh, I need more members of my club.
Right.
It's man, I really, this is such a third rail for me in my line of work. But man, I'm compassionate with it when I see it.
You have to be. Those are adults. Totally
Right.
different ball game. That's not the issue.
I have no problem with any of these people except for where it intersects with children. That's the thing. And it's
Right,
the
because
same thing as the abortion debate. It's like no one gave a shit when abortion was legal in the first trimester. No, I mean, really. I mean, some people did, but the majority of people
abortion,
didn't.
you should listen to Nurses RN episode 2. We talk about abortion on that.
Episode 3, actually.
Episode 3.
I never remember the episodes.
But when it got pushed to we need abortion up to the moment of birth, right? It's because they had to push. Then the backlash came. And this is a very similar thing. You've got people playing rope-a-dope where they're like, oh, I'm an oppressed minority because I'm non-binary. I have these pronouns, whatever. I'm like, God bless you. More power to you. You're probably an interesting person. I've had friends like that. They're great people.
But I don't care about your pronouns.
100%. Yeah, but whatever. But as soon as it starts, involving kids and all that stuff, I'm like, that's gone too far. Like, that's not cool. I wouldn't want. And people are like, well, you're homophobic. Right? I'm like, dude, I don't want a straight 25-year-old science teacher or English teacher talking to my, second grader about his. I mean, why is this so hard to understand?
Oh, I got
people?
a question. For a person that's not non-binary, I don't know.
I don't even.
Or
Yeah.
even like they use he, she, or he, him pronouns, or what, and they're a female. What do they call him in schools? Like, Mr. Smith. But what if Mr. Smith identifies as a woman? Does he get called Mrs. Smith?
Yeah, I don't.
What if he's not
it's
binary?
totally-
And does Mrs. Smith go to Washington? God,
It's just absurd, man. It has no
You
place.
interrupt
in the
me
schools.
for that joke. Sorry, Desert.
I shot myself in the face on that one. I know.
I was gonna say there is a term. There's some more TikTok videos on if you follow Libs of
It's
TikTok.
more like, you know what?
Wait, let him make the
Listen.
point.
I'm sorry.
I was watching a bunch of them. So they have a term mix, MX. So instead of Mr. or
Smith?
Ms, just Mix Smith.
We're just making shit up now.
Yeah.
It's more like it's anti-binary. It's not non-binary. It's like it's just so fucking anti.
It's a waste of energy.
Yep.
I really feel
Seriously,
like,
is this the conversation our nation needs to be having right now? I mean, how important is
No.
this really? I mean, everyone says live and let
dying in other
live.
countries.
Somehow, live and let live has gone away. And now, if you don't fully embrace, endorse, and celebrate something that someone else does, you're a bigot. Like, you can't just be okay with it. You have to be in the front of the parade, cheering it on, letting your kid learn it, or you're a bigot. It is so absurd where they're going with this, and that's why I don't even listen to. And my only problem with Libs at TikTok is I do think it's misnamed. It's again, not to be like putting too fine a point on it, but this isn't liberalism we're talking about. This is tyrannical Marxist.
No, it's chaotic. It's not. It's.
But it's not liberal.
Letting the lunatics run the
No, it's
asylum.
not.
And it's not classical liberalism. Far from it.
Not at all.
Far from it. So that's my only beef with it, but whatever.
But it's kind of a shell game, I think, because it's not okay. We're kind of caught up on debating this stuff, but it's really the censorship that's another big problem that's tied in with this.
Good
because
point.
she started getting into a lot of hot water. She started getting kicked off of Twitter. She's been kicked off of Twitter like 3 times. The latest time she was just suspended for 1 week, but she is back up
God, I hope
online now.
Elon buys it.
She's been kicked off of Instagram
What was their
temporarily.
reasoning for kicking her off Twitter?
Facebook kicked her off, and they keep trying to come up with reasons to kick her off, but then they'll say, "Oh, it was just an error," or they'll suspend her for 1 week.
I'll tell you what they're waiting for, and this is the danger, because like Mike said about January 6th, and like we say about every large gathering of people, you're gonna have the one psycho or the 2 assholes or the 3 guys that had too much to drink. They've been trying to say that she inspires hate and violence, right? At some point, unfortunately, there's going to be a violent incident. and that will result in the silencing of everything. I really think that's the way this is going. The language that they're using to me suggests that something's going to happen. Biden did the same thing with his speech.
Yeah.
They're waiting for something bad to happen to justify censorship like we've never seen.
And they're this close to it.
And they're
That's why
very close.
They're firing on all cylinders. Again,
Yep.
spaghetti test. They're throwing up as much as they can against the wall so that when something happens, they can say, see, we told you.
I've seen a lot of bad things happen. I saw Police Captain Dorn get shot in St. Louis. I saw a guy get kicked in the head
cities
in
burning
Philadelphia.
They
I've seen,
endorsed it.
yeah, cities have burned. I've seen lots of violence. I don't
They
know
endorsed
why
it.
that's not enough.
Because it has nothing to do with the violence. It has to do with who's doing it and for what cause. If some conservative whack job does decide to carry out some manifesto threat or fantasy because like he thinks that, you know, he's a Nazi. Let's go to the extreme, right? Let's say he's a racist and he's a homophobic and whatever. And he's the knucklehead that gets inspired by one of these TikTok people. That's what they're looking for, guys. I think.
But here's the thing. I mean, again, the premise is if you can take an individual, or like I said, even January 6th, 1,000 out of 300,000, and then say they are the example of the whole. I mean, that's where the dishonesty is coming,
that's
because
that's not
Mike,
1,000 out of 300,000. That's 1,000 out of 330 million in the United States.
yeah, what I'm saying is that to Jack's point, and I agree with Jack, but it's like we got to stop thinking about it like that, because I agree. I mean, we're one knucklehead away from whatever, but it's still even if that happens, it's a false premise. And it's the same thing with the guy, the Bernie Sanders dude that shot up the congressional ball game. I'm not going to pin that on Bernie Sanders. I mean, I do not like Bernie Sanders, but I'm not, whatever, it sucks.
Right.
The guy's a
No,
lunatic.
Mike, you're totally right. And again, back to Desiree's point, we all kind of talked about what Libs of TikTok is. If some lunatic is inspired by hate and it comes from a video he saw where it's an actual person saying how they feel about it. I'm a school teacher and I taught one of my students today about the joys of orgasm, or some ridiculous thing. I mean, at the end of the day, all this woman is doing is collecting these videos and reposting them. Like, it's not
Right.
like, she's not doxing anybody.
Right.
She's
And
not
wasn't the-
inciting violence on. She's not like,
No,
I don't know,
she's not.
saying like
so.
posting little gun
No.
emojis on the video. She's not like,
Right. No.
go
Yeah.
bomb this school,
Yeah.
nothing like
No,
that.
I'm just saying.
Drips of blood coming down the street.
I
Yeah.
agree with you guys. I'm just saying I think that is their end game. They're waiting
And
for one of these people so that they can label all of us that. And-
Wasn't
Well, it's
there a
like-
lunatic that just attempted to kill the Supreme Court justice?
Yep. And that.
And what about the
that-
kid?
It happens
was in the
over and
news.
over and over. I don't know why all of these examples aren't.
aren't used.
What about the kid
Well,
on
no, you do
July
know why.
4th?
You do know why, and that's what we've been talking about for like 80 episodes. Or
What about- What about the kid on July 4th? Wasn't he a non-binary member?
Yes.
And he bought
Apparently.
guns and shot people. Like,
At a parade.
but they don't
Yeah,
point
it's
that out because
it's what you don't report. I mean, that's more important than what you do
guilt
report.
by omission.
But
So,
talk
really-
about the violence and inspiring violence. So Chaya Rychek says that she's been the subject of a lot of death threats herself, and someone even threatened to pipe bomb her house. So she's feeling the brunt of it as well. So she's gone through a lot of suspensions and things. So the big brouhaha that's come up recently, and I guess that the impetus for this whole episode was the deal with the children's hospitals. So like Mike was saying, she goes after people that are involved with children, like the teachers or the drag queens that are trying to get children to participate. And then she went to these hospitals that were performing gender affirming, which I hate that term. It's too much of a euphemism.
Mhm.
It's really
Way bad,
a
yeah.
gender change surgery. You got to have the
Yeah.
word surgery in there. Affirming makes it sound like you're just saying, yeah, I agree with you.
Well, that's what they're
Way
doing
more than
too.
that. No, it's way more than
Well,
that. I don't
because
like
there
that.
is gender affirming therapy leading up to
Yeah,
the
but you're
surgery.
lumping it, and there's some really bad stuff you're lumping.
But who's lumping it? See, this is where I'm going to put my nurse cap on. Like, who's lumping? Because medical world isn't lumping. They're saying what the things are, and it's the people that are outside looking in grouping it together.
Well, if you go to these, I went to Boston Children's Hospital's website. No, they're using these terms that are the popular terms from the left. They're going along lockstep with all this gender affirming stuff. So, but what happened was, so she's posted something where she had called Children's National Hospital and talked to their people and asked them if they could do a hysterectomy on a 16-year-old girl, and they told her yes. And then Taylor Lorenz, who Jack was talking about before with the Washington Post, said that that was a lie, that they didn't really perform that surgery there, and that Libs of TikTok was lying to everybody, and it was like promoting hate and violence, and now the hospital is going to get a lot of death threats or whatever. But I want to play this video. You tell me, who's telling the truth, because the newspapers are saying that Libs of TikTok lied and that the hospitals do not do this surgery, but the hospitals are saying something else. If you go to Children's website, Children's National Hospital, they actually had on there that, yes, they did perform this hysterectomy. I mean, we're not talking about the other ones, the chemical castration, those are there too. But the specific one, they said they did it from, and it was a typo, but it was on their website that they did it from ages 0 to 21. They had that on their website for a long time.
Yep.
And that's not her fault. She's just bringing attention to it. But
I do just want to make this one point. Outside of this aspect, Children's National Hospital is an amazing hospital for kids. They saved my little one's life. Like, I mean, I just want to say that to a point, they're a great hospital. This part,
they do a lot of good work. Yeah, we're not arguing that, but
I don't want to totally crush them. This is appalling.
No,
yes,
we're just talking about this one aspect.
Yeah.
But let me play this video for you. If I can, everybody cross your fingers. I'm going to share my screen again. Let's see if this works. But this is her calling Children's National Hospital.
Should we do a soft count?
Thank you for calling National Hospital. Your call may be recorded for quality assurance.
I was calling for information about gender-affirming hysterectomies.
Okay, you said gender-affirming hysterectomy.
I've been in touch with quite a few hospitals, and a lot of them, they said they won't do it for my 16-year-old, and then I was told that this hospital might, and I also saw it on your website. So if you guys do it for a 16-year-old, I would be happy for to come for a consultation or whatever it takes.
Let me get you over to the operator, and I hate to transfer you.
I just want to know if you guys do service that age, before coming all the way for an in-person consult and going through all the paperwork and everything.
Yeah, it depends. Like, each department is different. Some departments cut off at 18. How old is your patient?
16.
Okay, all right, so they're in the clear. I'll email Dr. Call and see what we can do. In the meantime, if you still want me to transfer you, I can still transfer you to surgery.
Okay, no, there's going to be more.
I was calling because I'm looking for information about the gender-affirming hysterectomies that you guys offer. Am I in the right place?
Okay. Yes. This is the clinic. Did you want to make an appointment?
So I was just wondering. I've contacted quite a few hospitals already. It seems like it's difficult to find one that does the operation for my 16-year-old, and I was told that you guys do that. So if you do it for 16-year-olds, then yes, I'd love to schedule an appointment, a consultation, whatever you need.
If you don't mind me asking, what is your child gender changing to, so I can point you to the right direction?
Yeah, well, he transitioned to male. He already had the top surgery, and now we're looking for the hysterectomy.
Okay, beautiful. So I'm going to transfer you to the GYN nurse line. One of the nurses will give you a call to give you more information and to let you know the steps and the protocol that they do for that, okay?
Okay. So they do. So they would do it for that age.
Yes.
Okay, great. Is it a common procedure that you guys do for that age?
Yes, we have all different type of age groups that comes in for that.
For the hysterectomy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, do you know like what's the youngest age you would do it on?
I'm not sure, but I have seen younger kids, and I'm not, due to HIPAA, I'm not allowed to say that, but I have seen younger kids, like, younger than your child's age.
Get the gender affirming hysterectomy surgery?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. But you see, so that's the hospital confirming that they will do it on a 16-year-old. But Desiree, you're muted.
You're muted, Des.
I was yelling at my husband, sorry. Okay. Before anybody goes anywhere with this conversation, I'm just going to put this out here. The person that she talked to was the hospital operator.
Right.
When you call the hospital operator, where is that person? Not in patient care.
Yeah,
They
that's
don't
true.
really know.
Yeah.
And the hospital pointed that out right away.
Yeah, that was
However, if you heard what she said, I mean, she knows what's going on in the hospital. And
Does
she
It's
said that
just-
she
our
saw
hospital.
It's kind
younger
of
children.
No,
it's
what
kind
about
of
this?
an out of the mouths of babes kind of argument that
Yeah,
this is the lowest rung on the totem pole,
Well,
more prone to be honest because
But
they
the
don't want
point
to
is, Libs of TikTok did not make it up. They did not lie. They
No,
got
they
this
didn't
directly
lie.
from the hospital.
They played a recording that may be not the information. Now, if this was a nurse, if this was, hey, this is the OBGYN nurse line. Do
Well,
you
that
do the
was-
surgery? Yes, we do.
Well,
That would have been better. Better
Whoa.
information.
Didn't she get transferred from the operator to the
No,
department?
no. She called a different department. I don't know what she called. She called
No, she got
probably
transferred.
peds. And then she got transferred because that person, whoever answered that phone, transferred her to the operator so the operator could send it to wherever surgery. or
and
whatever.
Des, I mean, your point's well taken, but any hospital or large company, if you have access to the phones, I mean, I've worked at companies where like I wasn't allowed to talk to people on the phone. Like there's certain people that are allowed to talk to people. So if you're picking up the phone at a $100 million major metro hospital or whatever like that, like Children's, you know what you can say and can't say. I mean, we're not calling McDonald's here. We're not talking to the fry cook. Like,
Mike, in
I
all
get your
fairness,
no, but and I get your point, but I don't doubt. And what I'm saying is, I think what she's saying is true.
You think somebody that they pay these people like $13 an hour to answer the phone.
She goes beyond.
That's not to keep the secret wage.
No, but she goes beyond the question and
Exactly.
says that there are children even younger than your child. Like she is.
Because she knows, because she sees them walk in the door.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, like,
Wait a minute. The thing is, look, we can quibble with whether or not this is the hospital actually saying yes, but the point is, before any of that happened, I know Boston Children's Hospital had put out their own self-published promotional videos that were flying around conservative sites at the time. This was like several weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
I saw them, yeah.
And they talked about hysterectomies on minors. They talked about phalloplasties if you want.
And it was like doctors doing it.
18, and these were doctors, and they did it in, with soothing voices and nice purple color in the background and bullet points of all the statements they were making. And that was all over. It wasn't just Libs of TikTok. I mean, like, I know Matt Walsh covered it. He's got over 1 million viewers on YouTube and probably more at the Daily Wire. So this was out there for conservatives to digest. What did the
and
hospital?
it was actual hysterectomies. It wasn't breast surgeries. It wasn't.
No, it was everything. It was everything. And what did the hospital do at that point? And what did social media do? They erased it. No, they erased it. They made it so that it's almost impossible to find those videos now. The hospital pulled them back because they were getting phone calls, they were getting protesters, because those videos were being introduced to the world by the likes of Libs of TikTok and Matt Walsh and other conservatives. That's how this all started. It started with the hospital's own videos. And then Libs of TikTok showed those. There was reaction to it. So what does she do? I'm going to pretend I'm a patient and I'm going to call the hospitals myself. And maybe that was a mistake. I don't think she should get that involved.
I don't think that's an issue. People are bringing that up like that's a problem, that she said she had a 16-year-old daughter and maybe she doesn't.
It's journalism.
That's.
I mean, 60 Minutes. Dude, 60 Minutes has been doing that for 50 years. Come on.
Linda Tripp did that to Monica Lewinsky.
I think she's totally allowed.
How come these people aren't suing her ass for recording them without their permission or knowledge?
It depends what state she's calling from. Maryland is a one notification. Virginia, both have to know. It's different per state.
I checked the website for Boston Children's. That's why, and now it says that they'll only do the hysterectomy for 18-year-olds and over,
right? Which
I thought was weird for a children's hospital. I didn't know that they had 18-year-old patients. Maybe they do. I'm not sure.
Because they start the journey to
exactly. That's what I thought. My theory is just that they start you when you're 15 or 16 with the hormones and planning.
And that's what I think
prep.
that this girl on the phone is referring to. If you're going to get a hysterectomy when you're young, you're not going in for a pre-op and then getting it the next day. This is a thing that's drawn out, and you might have to start the care, way ahead of time, 2 years, 5 years. I don't know what it is, but I don't know.
Well, we also
shouldn't do that though, because the minor, Jack, just real quick, because if you're 16, you can't agree to have a hysterectomy. You can't even start the plan. They shouldn't be allowed to do that.
It's like therapy. It's like therapy to affirm that you are actually.
They should not be allowed. They should be hands off.
Dude, if you're an adult woman and you want a hysterectomy, you've got to go through all kinds of stuff.
Wait a second. You guys are also forgetting, though, the thing is, a lot of these kids are being brought to these hospitals, all of them probably, by their consenting parents.
Munchausen.
There are parents that are
doing. That's a new version of Munchausen.
100%, man.
But here, guys.
Yeah, but I still think there should be limitations on what the hospital is willing to do for money. Period. If mom and daughter want 14-year-old Becky to have her breasts cut off because they think that she's a boy, the hospital should be like, you know what? We're not going to perform this elective mastectomy on your 14-year-old girl.
But they're going to start for 2 years making sure that's what you want.
No, I understand all of that. I mean, they do start this grooming process at a very young age. That's a big issue here, right?
I love it.
That's what they're doing. Unfortunately, though, I think the hospitals, though, should just say, regardless of all the support we're giving to you and the hormone therapy and all of this stuff, puberty blockers, all of which I think is wrong to do to kids. They should draw the fucking line somewhere. You know what I mean?
I say if they're going to let them do it, they should give them a gun and a bottle of booze while they're at it, because apparently they can make very adult decisions.
Here's where my spidey sense.
Wait, Mike. I wanted to make a point.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No.
What Jax was saying, there's states where you don't even have to, the child can walk in and get this process started without any consent from a fucking parent. And I'm telling you this, and this will be on the show. Nobody listens, so it probably won't make it to the news, but somebody fucking tries this shit with my son, I'm throwing fists. I'm going to be on the news. I mean, plain and simple. You're not, this is fucking ludicrous to, they should not, if they're not allowed to vote, fight in a war, own a gun, drive a car, or buy a bottle of booze, they should not be able to make the decision. They should have to live life.
And it's not like a decision where we have all this data where with all these positive outcomes. We have no fucking idea what it's going to end up. Like, we don't know. And here's the thing where my spidey sense.
There's a lot of suicides.
But here's where my spidey sense goes up. And this goes back to what we said earlier. It's like, if this is such a good thing, if I'm like Mr. Progressive, right? If I'm Mr. Whatever, and I'm like, this is fantastic. Why am I not out preaching it from every mountaintop? Why aren't they out there saying, like, look, it's important for, 15, 16-year-olds to get the surgery, and here's why. No, it's all in the shadows and behind the curtain, and they delete it when you find out about it. So if it's such a great thing, then why do progressives not own it? Why don't they get out there and be like, look, this is exactly, we want to cut your son's dick off because it's going to be better for him later, and here's all the studies,
Right.
and it's
Why
all
do they
fantastic.
hide-
Why
do
is
they
it
hide
all
the
cloak and
videos?
dagger?
Yeah,
Like, if
why
it's
did
so
they hide
great,
the- Why did they hide the videos?
why do they? Yeah, I mean, and so that's where my spidey sense goes up. I'm like, this is BS.
Again, I've given the numbers may not be exact, but in like 2005, there was like 3 of these centers where children can go in and get gender transition. I call it transition because affirmation seems like you're saying, okay, you're broken. Let's go ahead and try and fix you. It's fucking
You
ludicrous.
can't change your DNA, man.
But now there's like 300 in the United States. It's a cash cow.
Well, I can tell you. Well, here's the thing. Part of it is, some of it is very cloak and dagger, like you said, right? Like the hospital doesn't want protests. They don't want picket signs in front of their hospital. They want to make money. So they're going to pull the videos down, and social media is going to make sure you can't find them anymore. And they're going to change their websites, and they're going to do this and that. But the thing is, the administration, going back to the party, I remember when Biden gave a speech from like, one of those, he was like through I don't know where, he wasn't in the White House because they had, maybe he was in Rehoboth, I don't know.
Or like White Castle. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was in one of his lush mansions. I mean, wherever he was. But he gave a speech that included the whole gender affirming therapy and transgender Americans need to be supported by their families with gender affirming. Like he threw it in there and sandwiched into this speech. So that was the president, right? So I mean, they're not. That's about as not cloak. I mean, he said it.
True. Yeah.
And then also for the administration, you have the secretary of the Department of Health, or the assistant secretary, Rachel Levine, who basically stood up there in her 4-star admiral uniform, and this I think you still can find on YouTube, where she basically said that gender affirming care is very important and it needs to start in the early teen years because they'll commit suicide maybe, and they can
Right.
and that was her right on national television.
That was with Rand Paul, I believe. And
No, that's where that was before she got appointed, and she tried to
completely ignored him.
She sidestepped, but now it's the opposite. Now in 2022, that she isn't in that position of power, she came right out on TV and said that they need this gender affirming care and therapy.
I think this is why I suspect that they do the surgery for under 18, and this is just my opinion.
No, they do.
I'm not saying the hysterectomy, even though the website says 18 and over, and it's because of what you guys talk about, the suicide. They keep saying it's life-threatening and that their lives are in danger. And this is where I think the doctors would come in and say, you know what, even though you're only 16, you're telling us that you're going to commit suicide if you don't get the surgery. So we're going to go ahead and to save your life, we're going to go ahead and give you the surgery early. So I think they would do it.
I wish I would have known that all I had to do was say, well, I'm going to kill myself if you don't take my uterus out, when I asked them to take my uterus out. That would
You
be
did?
nice to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish yeah. You were here for that conversation?
Oh no. Okay, I do. I'm sorry. Yeah.
It scooped me out.
Yeah, I said, why don't you go ahead and take that uterus out while you take that baby out? And they were like, well, we can't do that because it's fine. It's not unhealthy.
So and that's what I was saying earlier.
Tell what your husband's going to say.
As an adult woman, yes, exactly. You can't. Someone like Desiree can't just walk in and be like that without they want to see you talk to a psychiatrist or talk to your husband or whatever. I mean, I'm saying, so why are we talking about 16-year-olds?
How about
Right.
How about kids are also prone at 16 to say that they'll kill themselves if you don't give them the car?
Yeah.
My son tonight was flipping out because he didn't get to go play basketball. He was shaking the desk. He was going ape shit.
Not Ollie.
What?
I said not Ollie.
Oh man, he's an angel in the streets. He's a devil at home.
That's good.
He's a good boy. And he was losing his shit because he felt there was an injustice. But in his rage, I could have also seen him saying, I'm going to kill myself if you don't let me go play basketball. They're not rational human beings.
There are few things more powerful than righteous indignation as far as a motivator. If people feel that they are slighted or that they are due something that they're not getting, it's one of the most, it's like nitrous in a car, dude. It's just like,
and you guys know me in the tumultuous things I have to go through. If I were to kill myself every time I said I wish I were dead, we would have stopped this show about 82 episodes ago. It's like, these are thoughts. They're called intrusive thoughts, and we block most of them, and we say these awful things because we're hoping that we'll get the effect that we want. And that's even us as adults, rational, normal adults will even say some of this shit, fucking kill me, like we'll say this. We don't mean it.
I think that's why people should ask questions. And sorry, Desiree, but if it delayed what you wanted, but I mean, if you just had the baby and you're under the influence of something, maybe they're like, well, I don't know if she knows what she's saying. So maybe
I know, I knew it. I asked before they put me on the stuff. They gave me the draw. I was on.
But I think it's okay. Even you eventually get what you want if you're for sure about it. But I think it's okay to ask questions and say, "Are you sure? Do you want to talk to somebody? Let's slow down now."
It's not something that's reversible.
Why can't you do this with the kids too? It's like a taboo thing to even question.
It's kind of like suicide. It's a permanent solution to what could be a temporary problem.
What if you called the suicide hotline and said, I'm thinking of killing myself? And they were like, okay, great, go for it. What if they just affirmed what you were saying? How would you like
suicidal affirmation?
I mean,
suicide affirmation.
Well, now instead of big pharma, now we got to worry about big surgery, because apparently now it's elective surgery is going underage. That's the new movement, which is
it's horrific.
Yeah, if you remember from the What Is a Woman documentary, the guy on there that had the phalloplasty, he said it was $70,000 a pop.
Okay, so Des, you can back me up on this. Here's the thing. Here's why it's a cash cow. I mean, you guys probably know this, but just to throw it out there for thought.
It's surgery. It's a cash cow.
No, but it's more than just the surgery. For a female, I believe I heard that how it works is after, or for a male to female, after what they do is they cut the penis down the middle and they.
And that's okay.
No, hold on. This is more what I'm getting at. So they
Yeah, no, why?
No, but the thing about it is it's a done, you go get it done and then you're done. They have to do all this therapy afterwards, then there's hormones, and then if the
surgery doesn't take most of the time. There's complications.
Yeah, it's because you have to keep the labia dilated.
Yes, they have to keep something in there. I know it
will close itself. Yeah.
In Mike's face. Yes, it looks like that. But it's not just it's a long,
unless you don't dilate them. It looks like this.
Many appointments, many thousands of dollars each time they go in for this therapy.
Of course.
It's like 70,000 sounds pretty cheap, actually.
Hey, did we pull the nose up on this one or what?
Yeah.
You know what? That's a good point.
They
salvaged this episode.
Yeah, we did.
It has nothing to do with the nose. I don't know what you're talking about.
The plane. It's a metaphor.
I know, it's joking.
That's a good point, Zeus, because I do wonder if they talk about recovery or the after of surgery, because I mean, granted, I don't work in phallio surgery, but I work in cardiac surgery, and there's a lot of times where it seems like the physicians don't actually it's not like they're not telling the patients, but they're not really explaining to them the things you have to do after the surgery to make the surgery work.
Right.
Did you not tell them that they had to do this, that, and the third? Did you even with the phallio, did you explain to them that for 3 years they have to keep this thing dilated every day? Did you tell them that?
No, they don't. They also don't explain that when you pee, it's going to come out of 5 different places, which I've heard too.
Yeah, it's like, do they really? I don't know, because there's a difference between a successful surgery and a successful life with the surgery.
All right, we lost Mike. Oh, there he is. There he is. I mean, yeah, and Mike was talking about how this has only been going on so recently, and so there's no long-term study. When I was talking to our mutual friend about this, she didn't believe me, and then she looked up Boston Children's Hospital website, and she said, "You know what's going to change all this?" She said, "Give it 20 years, when the class action lawsuits start pouring in, or maybe even 5 or 10, when these people will have to live with this shit. Then the class action lawsuits will start, and maybe that'll nip this in the bud." That's what
You're gonna
she
get
said.
the
I think she's right.
you're gonna get the YouTube videos coming like, oh, I got this fake. What's it called? Fake.
There are some already.
Fill out.
Yeah, it's gonna be all the ads on TV. Like,
Phaleoplasty?
did you have a sex change operation
Did you have a
between 2020 and 2023?
Did it close up? Did you dilate it every day like you're supposed
Here's
to?
the thing, man.
Closed?
Yeah,
Look,
okay, let's talk about dilating it.
Yeah, dilating, I don't want to know about. Listen, here's the thing. All these kids, like, I don't care if you're 16, 18, 20, 40, whatever. You are turning these people into lifelong patients. This stuff doesn't just end with one surgery. It's incredibly involved. There are so many other. The human body is very complicated. It's not Legos, man. You don't just take things off and put them back on. Like, your body is still your body. If you're born as a male genetically, nothing we can do will change that. You can change what the outward appearance is. And this is the dilemma that I always have. If gender is not important, then why do you need affirming surgery? In other words, if it's a social construct and you were born as a girl and you want to be a boy, why do you need surgery? Just live as a boy.
That's a good point.
I mean, if gender doesn't exist, what are we talking about?
Shouldn't exist.
And let me add one last thing, and I think Jack will sign us off. But just to close out on Libs of TikTok, so Chaya, because of all these accusations about her account, she did come out and she's repeatedly said she does not endorse any violence or any hate or anything of that.
Of course not.
So she's not trying to stir anything up from that respect.
No, she's trying to make a living in this crazy world of ours. And
Look,
all she's doing is showing these people being themselves.
Yeah.
And listen, where a lot of this started, again, things don't happen in a vacuum. I mean, if you guys, I mean, I'm old enough to remember when the Wuhan Chinese Red Death came through and kids were on school, like at home on their computer. And for me personally, and some other people, it was the first time they ever were exposed to that. Like, my child was so young, she couldn't just be on, she wasn't a high schooler. She needed my wife or I right next to her to help her get through the lessons and stuff like that. So you started kind of tuning in and hearing things that were being said that you don't necessarily heard before. And personally, it was nothing horrible, luckily, but there's a couple times I definitely was like, you know, I didn't know about that. So Libs of TikTok came out of that whole movement of, again, showing a mirror, like letting parents know, listen, these are the people that are being employed by your school systems that are, you know, having a position of authority over your kindergarten 1, 2, 3, 4th grader. And that's where it came from. And that's where the whole like school board meeting thing was born. If it wasn't for the Wuhan virus, this would all be
happening.
It would be happening, and it would be under the radar.
Yep.
Yeah. I think we gave up. I'm going to go back even further and say I think we gave it all up back at 9/11 when suddenly we had the ticker tapes at the bottom and they could just overstimulate you with the news. You're constantly taking in information. You're catching little tidbits of something.
Dopamine.
Yeah, it's just we're being manipulated. And
if you use your phone while you're sitting on the toilet, it's
absolutely
it's a line. It's a line. And again, I'm not better than everyone, but I'm saying that's a line. I mean, seriously, you got to seriously think about, is that a good idea?
No.
Well, I mean,
it's not. There's just something not good about that. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I've done it. Dude, I've done it. I'm sorry.
I'm still old school. Like my phone does not go in the bathroom with me unless I'm using it to play music while I'm taking a shower. And then
I know Tom has because he's not saying anything, and I totally know
can't
Zeus
go
has
without
because
it.
Zeus has texted me from the toilet before. Desiree, I'm not sure.
I don't want to spend that
I
much
play
time in the
best fiends on
bathroom. I don't want to be in there that long. I want to go do my
Yeah, it
business.
does like extend the bathroom time.
Yeah.
Who wants to be in there?
But I'm saying, can we all agree? I mean, it's pushing it, right? I mean, we all know like this size probably isn't a good idea.
I'm constantly being
because
you've
it's
been in the bathroom
because of the
for 20 minutes.
the constant stimulation, or because you get poop germs on your phone. Which one?
Both. It's the dopamine, dude. It's like it's like there is something not right about it, and we do it anyway. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with it.
Yeah, no, just think about the times in your life where you've dropped your phone. And remember that before you walk into the bathroom with it.
Yeah, good point, man.
But anyway, have you ever used a
Desiree, you were
bidet?
saying how much you like a minty asshole?
I'm asking you if you've ever used a bidet.
No,
Why?
I have not.
I
Well,
want
you
one.
need to.
All right.
You, need
You
to
got it
change
out
that.
of me.
That rush of
Tushy.com,
warm water against your
$149.99.
is amazing. I would do it
The
again.
fact that if you think about it, when you go to the bathroom, you're using a one ply of pretty much cottonized tissue paper to wipe your butt you just pooped out of.
Yes.
Yeah, but
hopefully you don't break through.
Yeah, but
I don't know. It just grows.
I combine many plies though. I don't know anybody that.
I do
You
the
got
wrap.
You got to do like 35 squares minimum.
Yeah.
Well, if you use a
Per wipe.
bidet, there's no wipe involved. You just like shower it off. It's really lovely. But
I've got some bidet stories.
Females, you need to dry your vagine before you pull your pants up with the bidet, because if you don't, it gets real moist down there, and you don't want to keep that down there. So I'm just saying, if you hit it with a Charlie, it's nice and minty fresh. It's perfect. It's a lovely life.
See, this is why we needed a woman on the Friends.
Yeah, I just been missing a lot.
Yeah, she's been dirtier than any of us in like 4 minutes.
There's nothing dirty about that. It's one
in fact,
one white Charlie's, man.
Minty fresh.
It's a PSA, if you ask me.
Yeah, it is a PSA. Damn right.
He's a nurse, for God's sake.
I'm getting those one-way Charlies or whatever.
One white Charlies, yes.
One way
DollarShaveClub.com. I think you can just buy the Charlies. You don't have to have the membership.
One way Charlie. Can you guys have those one way Charlie things I've been hearing about? Like
one
wipe them on your butt.
Charlie.
No, one wipe. It's one wipe.
Oh, one wipe.
Charlie.
Okay, one wipe.
Because
Exit only Charlies.
they're really efficient and powerfully minty. All right, well, now we all know what to get Desiree for Christmas.
I'm getting you guys that for Christmas.
Stocking stuffers.
I've got some. Well, not currently.
Okay.
But, you know.
I'm in the market for that.
Zeus, the full circle, dude.
Never done that.
On our other podcast, I was telling Zeus one time I dropped my SpectraLink phone and flushed it down the toilet. You know those phones? Yeah.
Is that the nurse phone?
It's
the nurse phone thing?
Yeah, it's the nurse phone.
Oh, dude, listen, I got a quick story. When I was in the hospital,
Desiree, what are you doing?
Listen, when I was in the hospital,
no, it was on my belt. It was. This is what happened. Hold on.
Wait,
it was on my belt, and I didn't have pockets in these scrub pants, so it was on my belt, and so they're real janky, the clips, and so it was still on there when my pants were down. Okay, but when I went to go stand up and flush, I like did this move where I kind of turned and flushed at the same time. Well, when I did that, I kind of like the phone popped off my pants and landed in the toilet, and I was like, whatever, I'll just wait. Yeah, but it was like simultaneously, so it's already flushing, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll just wait until it stops flushing, so I'll get the damn phone. It flushed.
I'm so
it
glad
went
you're on
down.
the show now.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
They had to take the toilet off the wall and get the phone out.
Oh, they actually went
some
after.
grand design.
And after all of that, you still bring your cell phone into the toilet, don't you?
No, it was the work phone, not mine.
Did it work? Did it still work after all that?
It did. It had to go to biomed to get
No,
clearance.
Desiree, I understand the story. I just can't believe you still
risk.
You still
Don't take the risk.
I know, I really shouldn't.
Okay, good.
So
right,
real quick story. This is only 30 seconds. So I'm in the hospital after surgery. This is what, 2 weeks ago, whatever. Anyway, so it's like 4 freaking whatever, 2:30 in the morning, and this sound comes out, and it's like John Philip Sousa and vibration, and it's like right under my hip in the bed. It's like, and it's like, da, 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 and I was like, what the fuck? And I'm like moving, and it's this freaking phone, but it looks like a brick from like 1998. And I guess it was one of the nurses' phones that got dropped in my bed apparently. And so I answered the phone, and they're like, hey, Richard, da, 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 we need you. I'm like, I'm not Richard, but and I'm like, I'm a patient, and they're like, well, what room are you in? I'm like, I don't know, man, but I got Richard's
right now.
I got Richard's phone. Let him know. They're like, yeah, but where are you? I'm like, I think I'm on the 8th
Can't you
floor.
triangulate and come get this phone?
And like an hour later, this guy comes. Well, I never even met. People pop in your room when you're sleeping. It's creepy. So, and I was like, here you go. And he's like, oh, thanks, man. Anyway, whatever. I saw it was huge. It was like an old brick.
Yeah, they're like the old Nokia phones.
For me, the SpectreLink is like when you first want to drink a martini, you buy the vermouth, and then you open the bottle, try it once, and you never use it again.
Yeah,
that's the SpectreLink for me. They hand it to me at the beginning of the shift, and I go, that's gonna be sitting on my desk for the rest of the night.
Well, I have to use mine.
Guys, we've been on for a while now.
Jeff, you're having fun.
I think it's time we wrap things up.
Yeah, I gotta go to bed.
Go Libs at TikTok. Yeah. Hold that mirror up.